I want to show you a game I'm working on. It's a golf idler that sits on the side of your screen if you wanted to. What you're looking at now is just a scrappy prototype of a similar idea, but I really wanted to size the project down, literally. I've made a few games before and put them on itch. You can play them at the link in the bio. Here's a spirograph simulator, a cribbage game, a pinball platformer. I even made a top-down point-and-click procedurally generated golf game. They're all tiny in scope, and they're not very good, but I'm happy with how they turned out anyway. Most importantly, I learned a lot making them. And if you look through my dozens of playable prototypes, you'll find a couple of golf-themed games, a golf deck builder, a golf domino game, a golf survivors-like, to name a few. And that's because I love golf. So even though this golf idler isn't my dream game, it is me trying to capture a dream of playing golf every day, and I want to see if I can take everything that I love about golf, the strategy, the pacing, the difficulty, the equipment tinkering, and the views of nature, and then condense it into a small pixel window on my screen. It sounds ambitious, but since this is an idler, I think I can keep the scope small. Let's finally get this started and update to the latest version of Godot 4.62. and open a brand new project. I type out a roadmap for some features I want, and then we're off to the races. I'll get a few folders set up and then start making the first feature, a transparent window that sits in front of all applications. Luckily, this can be done in the project settings. Cool, it's working. Now let's create a simple menu for navigation. I want the player to be able to practice on a driving range, buy clubs and change stats in a pro shop, play a round of golf, and open a settings menu. I'll make a global navigator script that can change between the scenes, then create a couple of fake scenes like the pro shop, the driving range, and a fake golf hole. Okay, let's test it out. I click play round and it takes me to this lame golf hole. Now for the driving range. It may sound like an overscoped piece of the game, but I think it's important. First, practicing is my favorite part of golf. I love dropping a basket of golf balls down and hitting the same chip shot over and over, so I want to be able to set my little golf guy in a practice area of my game and watch him practice too. I think it might have a zen feel to it, but I'm not going to bother with the driving range right now. I want to get into actually crafting the golf course. The tools I need to build it will carry over to the driving range anyway. First, I need a tool that allows me to create blobby polygons, like a golf green or a fairway or a bunker. Freehanding nice curves with the polygon node just won't cut it. Luckily, one of the hard parts can be done with Godot's built-in geometry 2D function, convex hull. Finally, I apply a Catmull-Rom algorithm to this polygon, which essentially converts the edges and points our polygon to a nice blobby polygon. It doesn't give me a ton of freedom to make funky shapes, but it's good enough for now. This tool will be the basis of making nearly everything. We'll just add different shaders to each terrain type so that now you can tell fairways, greens, rough, and bunkers and water apart. I like the isometric grid effect of the shader, and I think it gives it a little depth. It's super important for me to get the water right. I think it's always the coziest part of a game to look at. I experimented with panning noise, a height map effect, but ended up going with a slight warping effect on another isometric grid. I liked it, but didn't quite love it. One thing I noticed is that the water has no depth, so I update this tool to add a bank mask using a viewport. I also have it add some penalty stakes around the edge of it, like an actual water hazard on a golf course. I like this effect, so I also add it to the bunker tool and change the shader to draw stripes. Let's add this to the golf hole, and I can see that it's already a huge improvement. So I think water plays a massive role in the feel of the game, but the next most important thing to me would be the trees. I go into Inkscape, which is a free open source vector illustration tool, and make a couple of trees. I just render some 3D shapes, adjust the rotation and the number of sides, and then put them on a simple trunk. It's super easy, and I think it actually looks okay as is. Also, this will be pretty easy to UV map if I end up adding dynamic lighting later. When the trees jut out above the terrain, it creates an awesome sense of depth. I'm really happy with this so far. We'll repeat this process for a simple bush and a rock. Maybe we'll make more variations later, but there's no need to spend a ton of time on this just yet. If you're a golfer, you've noticed that the greens are missing something important, a flag. I found this flag sprite sheet on Twitch. Let's just throw this in there as a placeholder. Add a shallow and voila, good enough for me. Let's just zoom out and appreciate how this looks so far. I'm very happy with it, but I think there's a small thing that will make a big impact. Tall grass. I'm repurposing this tool from an old game that generates triangles on a multi-mesh within a polygon. The shader attached simulates wind, and it even has a cool effect where the grass gets trampled down when I mouse over it. We'll adjust the wind strength, the colors, and add it to the scene. It's not placed very well just yet, but I think this ended up looking really cool. Alright, so the first hole is done. Let's spend some time making more golf holes. With everything set up, this won't take very long at all. There, about 20 minutes to construct this golf hole. I was going to stop here, but I think this video would feel incomplete if I didn't at least add a golf ball and a golfer. We'll think ahead a little bit. I want to allow for multiple golfers to play at the same time, so I'll have an aim manager cycle through all the golfers in a scene. A golfer will have its own stats, and the ball will own the ball flight tweens and paths. What I've learned here is to start small and test often. I start by just having the ball appear wherever I click. Once that works, I have it tween in a straight line from its start position to its end position. And then I finally have it tween in a curved line. The pathing still needs some love for it to feel natural, but again, this is good enough for now. The final thing I want to tweak is the trees to give them a little more texture and add some variation between them. On startup, the colors will shift slightly. We'll also make sure that there's some sway from the wind. Great. I added a small point light on the green to accentuate it a little, and now I think it's time to step back and end the video. I'm ending with a start screen, a system to build golf holes, and a ball that can travel between 2 points. Visually, I think I still need to work on the color palette because it's just a little too green. Next, I need the ball and the aim manager to read terrain types so we can adjust golfers' stats and aim points. For example, we want the aim manager to aim away from water, and we want the golfer to be less accurate hitting from the rough than they would be from the fairway. But that's for next time. Thanks for watching, and I'll see you in the next one.